with Bain, and we are in my kitchen today. Today we're going to be doing a red velvet poke cake that I got from Brown Eyed Baker, and I've adapted it just a little bit. I've made this cake many a times, and it is so creamy, so delicious. Everything is made from scratch. It's just amazing. Excuse my voice today. I know it's really hoarse. I've been sick with the flu and head congestion, cold congestion stuff. But just stick with me and just excuse my voice. So if you want to know how I make this cake, stick around, stay tuned, and I'll show you just how I made this awesome cake. If you're new here, I want to welcome you and thank you so very much. Please don't forget, press that subscribe button, and then please tap that bell for me so you can stay notified of any future videos that I upload. If you're not new here and you are returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and every one of you, thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. So just stay tuned, excuse my voice. Thank y'all, God bless. Alright guys, so we're going to be concentrating right now. I'm going to be showing you the ingredients that you will need. We're going to first start off, you're going to need a 9 by 13 inch pan. This is a 9.5 by I think 13.5, and you want it greased already. I use what's called baker's grease. So make sure you have that going. You want to make sure that you have everything out and ready, so that it's just basically, it's good to have everything ready and prepared for you. Now, like I said, excuse my voice is just very bad. You're going to need a stick of unsalted butter. Okay, and make sure it's unsalted. You're going to need a 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. You're going to need some red food coloring, and I've got this, and it's by Wilson. I didn't have enough of one color, so I have red and then red. So you're going to need those, and you need quite a bit of it to make it really pretty and red. You're going to need a 14 ounce of sweetened condensed milk, and I use this brand, not every time, but just about. You're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You're going to need 2 large eggs. You are going to need 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to need a teaspoon of baking soda. 1 cup of buttermilk. Now what I did, because I hardly ever carry buttermilk on me, so what a good substitution for buttermilk is your regular milk, and for every cup, a cap full of distilled vinegar, and just kind of swoosh it and then let it set for a few minutes. And I always do my eggs, milk, and butter at room temp, guys. So make sure everything is set out ahead of time. Alright, you're going to need a tablespoon of distilled white vinegar on the side as well. Distilled white vinegar, I just use Heinz. And I think that is it. Now, you're going to also need your cocoa. Red velvet is just basically a very soft chocolate cake. It's kind of like a really light milk chocolate. It's not a dark chocolate or a bittersweet chocolate. And I just basically am using 5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. So guys, that is it for the cake itself. We're gonna also be doing a cream cheese buttercream buttercream frosting for it. And what I use is basically just 3 unsalted butters and an 8 ounce of cream cheese. And all of this is at room temp. But that's later on, and then you're gonna need your confectioner sugar. And probably a little milk or water if you want to replace it instead of something dairy. And then a little bit of vanilla extract. So guys, that is it. Let's get started. All right guys, we're ready to start everything, and the first thing we're gonna want to do, you can use, I'm gonna be using this Pro mixer, but you are more than welcome to use a hand mixer or whatever you have on hand. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to be doing is basically creaming the butter and the sugar together. So we're going to cream it together, which is one of these. As you can see, it's very soft, and that's because I've let it set out for quite a while. So it can get really soft. And then your sugar. And then we're gonna do this for about maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Okay guys, now we're gonna add the eggs, and we're gonna add them one at a time. And between each one, I'd say about 30 seconds, at least half a minute to a minute. All right, and it's gonna be really creamy looking, so that's what you're looking for. All right guys, our next step is to take the cocoa powder and the vanilla extract and the food coloring, and we are gonna be needing quite a bit. So let me use instead a scooper, because these things are very small. We're gonna need quite a bit. What we're gonna be looking for is to be making a very thick paste with these things. Telling you, you need a lot of this, because you want it a very pretty red color. So I'll speed this up because this takes a little while. All right, now guys, I'm going to be using just a little bit of this milk to help because it's just a lot more powder than liquid. So I want it a little bit more liquidy, more like a paste. Yep, it's red. All right, so I'm just going to leave it like that. That's good enough. And I'm going to, we're going to spoon this out and just mix it in, basically. I'll speed this up. Okay, so let's go ahead and add about half of this milk. And we're going to have to do this for a little while because it's going to take a while to soften up that thick batter in here. So just start off slow and then work your way up. Okay, now we're going to add the flour. About half of that, and then the milk again, and then the flour again. Now, if you want to, you can sift this flour. It's just up to you. I don't find the need for it, honestly. It's just up to you, though. But, all right, so we're going to just let it in between each one cream and everything and get really nice and smooth before we do the milk again. And the same thing, just keep repeating it. All right, guys, don't forget to preheat your oven to 350. That's very important. You do not want your batter to relax while you're waiting on oven to preheat. All right, so let's start again. All right, and then the last half of the flour. And then we're gonna let it just mix really, really well until it's smooth in consistency, guys. All right, so that looks fairly smooth. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna mix about a tablespoon with this baking soda, which that's what happens right there. And all right, and we're gonna mix for about another 2 minutes to just make sure everything's incorporated. Alright guys, so that is it. And your batter should look, you can make it redder if you want, but honestly, I don't know if y'all can see that. You can make it redder, but I just, in my opinion, it's not real healthy. Food coloring is not real healthy for you to have a whole lot in it. Like with my husband, it causes him a lot of heartburn and indigestion and things like that. So This, I've added a little more than I really would like to have added, but because this is red velvet cake, you've got to add a pretty good amount. Now, it's all just about the looks. It's not anything else. If you just don't want to add it, you do not have to. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add this into the pan. There's nothing better to me with a red velvet cake than a cream cheese icing. And there's nothing comparable to homemade buttercream. And a buttercream that's made with all butter. It's just not the same. Some people use, like a lot of your bakers, they like to use that lard, which is to me not very healthy at all, but it's a totally different taste. It's cheaper, it's quick, yes, I get it, but I'd rather the taste of this, and it's just better to me. But it's all up to you. So, oh yeah. Okay. And y'all just got to excuse my dirty, filthy kitchen and drawer. I use my kitchen constantly, so it's not a spotless kitchen. And then I just spread this around. And that's basically all you're gonna do. You're gonna bake it, I think like maybe 20 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna say 25 to 30 minutes. And you know, the little trick with the toothpick in the center, make sure it's cooked and baked all the way through. One other thing that you could do, I have used, this is one trick I used to do a lot when I was a chef and a baker. If I can find it. Right here, here's one. I've got several of these. But these are what's called your flower nails when you're decorating with roses and you put wax paper and then you pipe and it twirls and all that way. Anyway, you can turn it upside down and put it before you pour the thing, and it helps bake that center better. And sometimes if it's a big bit, you can put 2 or 3 all in the center, kind of spread out, and it helps that center bake a little better. You can still enter it now if you happen to have one and you didn't know that and you want to try it with this. You're more than welcome to, but it's not necessary. This should cook fairly evenly. But anyway, so I will put this in the oven and then I will be back and show you the results. Guys, it took about 30 or 32 minutes, maybe 30 to 32 minutes. What we're going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and just flatten this out a little bit. And I just take a paper towel and I just use my hand and just kind of go around and flatten it. Does not have to be perfect. And I do that just so it's all kind of even. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I should have had this all down, I apologize. I'm gonna take this wooden spoon and I'm just basically going to poke a few holes in it in a row. Probably about every inch, I guess. All the way, and I know that seems like a lot of holes, but you're wanting to make sure that the sweetened condensed milk is spread very well throughout the cake. All right, guys, so I have not used the whole can, but just about the whole can. There's probably maybe a couple of tablespoons left. So, I mean, if you want to take your time and just really spread it really good throughout the holes, go ahead and do that. But try not to put too much going to the side. Now, it's still really warm, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it cool completely. And then we'll go ahead and we'll ice it. And it's just going to be a very simple icing. All right, so stay tuned and I will show you while this is cooling. I'll get everything needed to go ahead and make the frosting. All right. All right, guys, so now we're going to start the frosting for the cake, the cream cheese buttercream frosting. You're gonna need, excuse me, you're gonna need an 8-ounce block of cream cheese and 2 to 3 sticks of unsalted butter. So make sure it's unsalted. I have just started, basically just got done with washing my stuff, so. All right, so I'm going to start off. We're going to put the cream cheese and the butter, and we are just going to cream them and then slowly add the vanilla and the milk or whatever you want to add, water. Oops. And the sugar. And that's basically it. So I'm going to fast forward and let y'all just watch. The consistency you're looking for is about a medium because you do not want it thick and you do not want it too soft. So I'd start off with, I'm going to go ahead and add just 2 instead of 3. I think 2 will be plenty. And then and I'm not doing any fancy piping or any of that stuff. So I'm just going to spread it on top and cut them into pieces. I know my voice is horrible, guys. I'm so sorry. And then add the sugar and everything. So I'll go ahead and fast forward this. All right, guys, so that is it. You've seen about what I added. I don't even remember myself. I always go by consistency, but if I had to put a saying on it, 1 thing of cream cheese, 1 block, 2 sticks of unsalted butter, and then you want to add probably about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of milk. And did I give you them 4 cups to 5 cups of confectioner sugar, and about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can add salt if you want to, but I never do. And that's about it. So I'll put the recipe down below, guys, because I know it's kind of confusing as I'm talking. I never really am very specific as I'm doing it. But this is probably, I think I'm gonna add a half a more cup of sugar because I want it a little bit more thicker since the cake is still slightly warm. So we'll fast forward this again. All right, guys, so that is it. Basically, there is your cream cheese frosting, buttercream. There's nothing really special about it. If you want to use whipped cream, I've heard some people use that. It's just up to you how you want to do it. But this is how I make mine. And I'm going to speed everything else up and basically put the frosting on the cake, let you see that, and all of it will be kind of fast forwarded. So that way this video is not really, really long. All right, so we'll see you in a second. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and reposition the camera so that way you can see down on the cake, okay? All right, so as you can see, it's just a bunch of frosting, and I probably made a little too much, actually, but that is okay. You can actually store buttercream for a pretty good while. You can actually freeze it if you want to. But good thing, I like thick buttercream, so it's okay by me. It's just up to y'all. Alright, so I'm gonna fast forward this and just let y'all watch, and then we'll cut the cake, guys. Okay.